Hello, friends, and welcome to another week of Mental Health Storytime. My name is Nina, and I go by she and her. For those who have not met me, hello again. It's very nice to meet you. And for those who have, hello again. I am usually at the Children's Book Bank on Saturdays from 10 to 3. So if you and your adult are ever available, come on down, come say hello, come choose a book, take it out, take it home, read it, come back and tell us about it. We would love to hear about you and what you think about the story, about the book, what your favorite part is, and we'll be there to listen. And I love listening to all your stories. Another thing that I really do love doing is reading stories for our friends at the book bank. So today that is exactly what we're going to be doing. So today we chose two books. One is called I Am Too Absolutely Small for School, and this one is written by Lauren Child. Do we know who these two friends are? So this one is Charlie, and this one is Lola. Do they look familiar? I think so. And this one is called Miss Brooks Loves Books, and I don't. Who do you think loves books here? This one? Good one. So this one is written by Barbara Botner and illustrated by Michael Emberley. So, given these two books, I think we are going to start with this one. So we're going to put one of our books there, and I'm going to come a little closer for us to see the pictures and the words clearer. Miss Brooks Loves Books and I Don't. Story by Barbara Botner and illustrated by Michael Emberley. Miss Brooks is our librarian. Hi, Miss Brooks. She loves books a lot. She loves the Runaway Bunny and Bubbar and Where the Wild Things Are and the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I asked Miss Brooks why she dresses up for a reading circle. I want you to get as excited about books as I am, she says. I think Miss Brooks gets a little too excited, and I bet her costumes itch. So it itches, isn't it? Look at all Miss Brooks' costumes and her friends listening nicely to Miss Brooks' story. Halloween means we each have to find a poem to share, but all the books with witches, ghosts, and goblins are checked out, and I don't really like pumpkins. So I make up a Halloween poem of my own. The class looks at me funny. Miss Brooks says, well, it's a start. All year long, Miss Brooks reads us books. Books about dragons and pilgrims and presidents. Books about love and leprechauns, groundhogs too. It's vexing. Then in May, Miss Brooks tells us about something truly terrifying. I wonder what it could be. It's Book Week! Ah! So scary. You each need to pick a favorite story to share with the class. I want you to wear a costume and tell us all about it. Really show us why you love it. I'll never love a book the way you do, I tell Miss Brooks. Don't be so sure, she says. Look at how many books she has. When I get home, I ask my mother if we can move to a new town. My mother says there is a librarian in every town. I ask if she wants to do my assignment for me. I've already been in the first grade, says my mother. I wonder what's going on here. Let's look around. It says Book Week. Every single day of Book Week, Kids share stories about trains, choo-choo, about fairies and cowboys and dogs. Giddy up, yippee-ki-yay. So he just said woof. Then the flower fairy flew out. When Miss Brooks asks what I think, I say, too flowery, too furry, too clickety, and too yippity. So Miss Brooks filled my bag with more books for me to read with my mom. But I don't like any of them. They're too kissy, too pink, and too silly. I tell my mother, "You're as stubborn as a wart," she says. Warts. I want to read a story with warts, I shouted. Warts! My mother finds a book called Shrek. Shrek has hairs on his nose and he snorts. I love that. Can you read it again? I ask. Snort, snort, snort. I love this book. I had to practice the words over and over, but my mother helps. Then we make an ogre costume. I make stick-on warts for the whole class. A friend is wearing their ogre costume now and making warts for the class. When I get to school the next day, I ask Miss Brooks to lend me a hand. When I say the word snort, the whole class snorts. I explain why a stubborn, smelly, snorty ogre searching for a revolting bride makes me laugh. Ha 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 ha. Miss Brooks says she's glad I found a book to love. She says that even ogres like me can find something funny and fantastic and appalling in a library. And that is the slimy truth. See our friend over here choosing books with Miss Brooks in a library. Isn't that amazing? And that is the story of Miss Brooks loves books and I don't. So next up, we have the book with Lola and Charlie. This one is called I Am Too Absolutely Small for School, written by Lauren Child. Let's open up and see what this book is about. I have this little sister Lola. She's small and very funny. My parents said she's nearly almost big enough to go to school. Lola is not so sure. There's Charlie again, and there's Lola. Lola says, I am absolutely not big. I am still really quite small. She says, I probably do not have time to go to school. I am too extremely busy doing important things at home. I wonder what those important things are. Let's see. I say, at school, you will learn numbers and how to count up to 100. Lola says, I don't need to learn up to 100. I already know up to 10 and that is plenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job. We just counted to 10 as well, like Lola. And I never eat more than 10 cookies at one time. 10 is enough. Let's count how many cookies there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 cookies. But Lola, I say, what if 11 eager elephants all wanted a treat? How would you count up how many treats that would be? Well, says Lola, I am not quite sure. I say, And what about learning your letters, Lola? If you know how to write, you can send cards to people you like. Lola says, I like to talk on the telephone. It's more friendly and straight away, says Lola. But not everyone has a telephone, you know, Lola? Who doesn't, says Lola. Santa Claus, I say. You have to write him a special note and send it to the North Pole to tell the elves your Christmas wish. Otherwise, the elves might get your wish mixed up. We don't want that. I didn't know that, Charlie, says Lola. And Lola, I say, don't you want to read words? Then you will be able to read your own books and understand secret messages written on the fridge. Lola says, I know lots of secrets. I don't need to read words, and I've got all my books in my head. If I can't remember, I can just make them up. There is pink milk in this fridge. What a scary looking monster. Oh my goodness, let's read what this one is about. But Lola, I say, what would you do if there was an ever so angry ogre who would not go to sleep unless you read them their favorite bedtime story? Oh, that ogre is not looking happy, my friends. I don't know, Charlie, says Lola. Then Lola says, I would like to read to an ogre and count up elephants and send notes to the North Pole, but I absolutely will not ever wear a school uniform. I do not wear the same as other people. I say, but Lola, you won't have to wear a school uniform. At our school, you can wear whatever you want. Oh, says Lola, you wait there. I know exactly what I can wear. Well, Lola, I say, that's certainly stylish. What is our friend Lola wearing? Let's read. But you cannot go to school dressed as a crocodile. Lola says, this is not a crocodile. This is an alligator. I say, you can't really go to school as an alligator either. Why not, says Lola. Because alligator is for fancy, for school, stripes are nice. Really, says Lola. I like to wear stripes, says Lola. But what will I do at lunchtime? You know, I will never, not ever, eat a school lunch. My sister Lola is fussy about food. I say, but Lola, you can take your very own packed lunch in your very own lunchbox. It says L-O-L-A, spells out Lola. So this must be Lola's lunchbox. Lola says, I do not want to eat at school alone, all by myself, on my own. I say, but Lola, you will meet lots of new friends. You can have lunch with one of them. Then Lola says, but I already have my friend, Soren Lorentzen. I like to have lunch at home with him. Soren Lorentzen is Lola's invisible friend. No one knows what he looks like. I say, well, Soren Lorentzen will be going to school too. What will he do if he can't sit next to you? Oh, you're right. Soren Lorentzen is a little slightly nervous to be at school on his own. I'll absolutely have to go too, says Lola. Walking to school, Lola is all wobbly. She says Soren Lorentzen is feeling slightly not very well. He is worried he will not be able to count numbers, do letters, and read words. And no one will talk to him, so he will all by himself on his own. Lola, I say, it'll be okay. You'll be fine. I bet you'll both have a really good time, and after school, we'll have a pink milk at home. Look at all those leaves. Those are some beautiful fall color leaves, isn't it? Look how they're wearing their gloves, their hat, and their scarves. But all day I am worried. I don't see Lola at recess, and she's nowhere at lunch. When school gets out, she's not by her peg, but then there she is. And she's not all alone by herself. She's hopping along home with somebody else. At home, I say, Lola, I told you that you would have a good time. And Lola says, oh, I know, Charlie. I was not worried. It was Soren Lawrenson who was nervous, not me. I was fine. And that is the story of Charlie and Lola. Lola going to school, being afraid of going to school. And Charlie telling Lola that she has nothing to worry about, that she'll be just fine. How did we like those two stories? I love it for sure. I love both of those stories. This book talks about when you keep looking, when you keep trying, you will find exactly what you're looking for. Just don't give up. Keep trying something new, and then you'll just find it. Just like how our friend over here was reading lots of books that was given by Miss Brooks, and then eventually they found a book that they really like, which was Shrek. And this one is about Lola being worried about going to school and eventually having the best day ever at the end of the day. So my friends, I think it's fair to say that it is okay to be scared in your first couple of days at school. If it's your first day going to school, if it's your first day coming back to school, it is totally fine and okay to be scared and worried. There are a lot of uncertainty happening right now in the world, and we just need to have a positive mindset and just keep trying out different things around us to find what exactly we're looking for. So don't give up, keep trying. Always wear your mask, of course. And school will be fine. It will be all right. If it's not okay, it will be all right. It will all work out in the end. So don't ever give up, and you'll be just fine. I hope you all the best on your first week of school, or if it's your second week of school, you're coming back to school. And I hope to see you soon at the Children's Book Bank. And I hope you enjoyed our story time. And next week, Lori will have books for us to read again for mental health story time. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you next time. Bye, friends.